late last night, around 1 o'clock in the morning, they released the test server for the first-person mode for singles and duels. So we're going to go over a couple of quick things here, real quick, that you need to do to prep yourself for that mode. First thing you need to do is go up there to where you click matchmaking, go down to solo or duo FPS. That'll put you in the first-person server. Then go over to your settings. Go down to FPS, camera, POV, and crank that all the way up. That'll let you see everything. My resolution is crazy. Also turn on the weapons HUD and the equipment HUD. That'll show you what guns you have in a silhouette in the bottom right and what armor you have next to your health bar. And then we'll do more once we get into a game. Alright, first thing you're going to notice when I get in the ground and get into first person is your character has tiny little hands, and they're weird, and they're going to freak you out. So just pick up a gun, and they're going to look a lot better. Also, you'll see as I start picking stuff up, I grab armor, it gets added to the left of the health bar, and as I pick up a gun, it gets added to the left of the minimap, and as you get more guns, they get put in there in all the different spaces. So red guns are unloaded guns, even though when you pick up the AK, I hadn't loaded it yet, and it still had it as grade because I hadn't switched to it, so to show that it was unloaded. So whatever, it's just something a little buggy. Grenades get thrown in there too, and melee weapons, so you can see what grenade you have selected, what melee weapon you have. You think one thing it doesn't show, though, it doesn't show what level backpack you have, so you still have to go into your into your inventory to see what backpack you have. Also, a quick thing about inventory, it doesn't matter if you hit F or you drag and drop from the ground into your backpack, the character still makes the same animation as you just saw. It all takes the same amount of time, so loot, however, is more comfortable to you. Alright, now this is something I noticed in my first game I played. I was in the prone position laying down on a hill, and your character can only raise the rifle a certain level off the ground before I guess it hits the ground and it stops. So you can't raise it up past a certain angle. And so if you're laying down a hill, you'll only be able to raise it up so high. As you can see what's happening here, I can only go as high as the street. And I tested it with the AK and the UMP because I figured the UMP would be smaller, maybe you could raise it higher, and it didn't make any difference. They both raised to the same height. Alright, another thing is, gone are the days of spinning the camera around in front of you to look behind you as you run away. In first-person mode, you can only alt-look as far as your character can turn his head. So you get about a total of 260 degrees. So there's a good 100 degrees behind you that you can't see. So the only way to do that is to jump, spin around, and look real fast, and then keep running on. So that's just something you're going to need to know before you get into this. So overall impressions of first-person mode, pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. The entire time I was playing, I felt like there was someone behind me, always, like constantly. So I spent a lot of time on my belly, crawling. And anytime I had to run or do the crouch run, I felt super exposed. And without only being able to alt look, only without going behind you, that made it super, it was more stressful. It was like, holy crap, I know there's someone behind me. And there was never anybody behind me, but it felt like there was. This is also the game that I figured out about the gun angle, going up or going down. That only being able to raise it a certain height. I couldn't cover the rocks from where I originally was, so I had to crawl up to get into a position that did it, and that made me change where my position was going to be. So a lot of little things like hills and stuff like that, they provide really good cover when you're uncrouching like that, because there's a guy somewhere over there to the left. I never saw him, but I did know there's a guy over here at these rocks and these trees that I'm looking at constantly. So it's the way it worked, and it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun, and I like the fact that here I am out in the open, and I can only see certain much, and I know there's a guy behind that rock over there, and if he wants to look to try to find me, he's gonna have to poke his head out. He can't just swing a camera around and be completely in cover and get information about my position without putting himself in danger. Should be a trade-off. If you want information, you got to put yourself in danger. Another thing that you may have noticed in the video, I ran right by a crate from a guy that had died, and I didn't see it. But that might have been just due to the fact I was down to the top 4 at this point, and I may have just been really looking for guys and not noticed it. But they may need to change the color of crates to make them more noticeable, or leave them the way they are, and you find them, you find them, you don't, you don't. Either way, I really enjoy the first-person mode. I want to play a lot of it. It's more my style of game than the third person. So I hope this video helps you get into your very own first-person mode, and you're aware of all the changes and the things you need to do to excel at it. So until next time, I'll be failing in first-person mode on the test server.